tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
The views and opinions expressed on Trudging Together are solely those of the host, co-host, and our guests. They do not necessarily reflect the views of any organization, fellowship, or other entity, and definitely not your boss, your neighbor, or that one guy in your home group. The content of this program is not intended to replace medical, psychological, or professional advice. If you're looking for that, please seek guidance from qualified professionals who spent way too many years in school. What you'll hear here is based on lived experience, recovery journeys, and the occasional bad coffee-fueled joke. Trudging Together is not affiliated with any 12-step fellowship. We are simply people sharing our stories and walking this path together, one day at a time. Thank you for joining us, and remember, recovery is serious business, but that doesn't mean we can't laugh along the way.
It's Tuesday. Happy Trudging Tuesday. On Trudging Together, the Daily Trudge, where you get raw trudge. Everything's either named raw something or trudge something with what I have. So, yeah, but happy Tuesday to you. What an order. I can't go through with it. That is going to be our topic today. I don't know what happened, but my camera looks different. It's like it zoomed backwards or something. I don't know what it is. You may not notice the difference. I do. See that light above my head is not usually in camera. In fact, I'm going to do what I can to take it out of most of the camera here. There we go. Okay, that's better. That's better. Maybe it was up too high. Let's go down a little bit lower, not to the point where you see my phone. Okay. See. Oh, I know what happened. I was drumming on the desk during the meeting last night. That's what happened. No, it's too low. All right. I had it where, you know what? We're just going to go right there. There we go. And I won't do any drumming or hit the table while I'm doing this, so I won't move it around. Watch. Hey. I'm just kidding. Cat went running. But now you get to see the full view of that wall. All right. Yesterday I was working on my my website. That's what I've been doing the last couple of days. Putting out a new website. It's set up for everything. I'm taking my time. ChatGPT's helping me with it. So it's not spectacular, but it'll be a functioning for what I need. I was working on it, but I looked at the preview. I'm like, oh, I want to show this to a friend. So I grabbed the URL and I threw it in WhatsApp, but I sent it to me first to make sure it worked. Well, I went and looked at it. It was just a blue screen with home podcast services and stuff at the top. Like I'd only completed about 10 minutes of work, and I put 4 hours into this thing. I was getting ready to cry because I put a lot of work into it. Hard work. All right. But it saves all the time. Like, it's got to be here somewhere. Well, if you're familiar with building a web page, you build it because if you have homepage, you build that page. Then you have services and you build. Well, I was on the Book Now. I was building my homepage on Book Now. So it wasn't gone. I was a little frustrated by that. Yeah. So I even got a little upset. I yelled a profanity. I did. Anyway, I don't do that very often anymore. Yelling, that is. Profanity. Yeah. Doesn't. Yeah, I'm kind of known for my profanity. Guess what time it is? Time for Dion's Daily Jokes. We've been on a roll with this. Margie, good to see you. Yes, I'm staying dry. How about yourself? It is a rainy day in Colorado. Yep. I had to smoke by the door. All right. Let's get a couple of jokes in. Let's do it. I once submitted 10 puns to a joke competition. I really thought that with that many, one was sure to be a winner. Sadly, no pun intended. No pun intended. Yeah. Why did the old man fall down the well? He couldn't see that well. Pretty good. He couldn't see that well. Literally, he couldn't see it. So he fell down it. That was not bad. I tried to make up a joke about a ghost, but I couldn't. It had plenty of spirit, but no body. That's just stupid, but kind of funny. All right, let's do one more. Dad, what is the difference between a piano, a tuna, and a pot of glue? Me, I don't know. Dad, you can tune a piano, but you can't piano a tuna. Me, what about the pot of glue? Dad, I knew you'd get stuck on that. I didn't tell that one well. Let's do one more because I didn't tell that one very well. Two windmills were sitting on a hill. One asked the other, do you have a favorite song? The other replies, well, all my life, I have been a fan. I have been a heavy metal fan. All right. That's it. I need a laugh track and intro to that outro. All that'll start coming up. I'm gearing this so that when this happens, it's more like a radio show and stuff. You're probably not going to see, you'll see some differences in segments, things like that. So, things like that. Welcome to the Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. I'm your host. If you haven't figured it out by now, I like Spider-Man. I like almost all the. I'm a big Marvel DC person. All right. If you're here, please say hello. Whether you're watching live or the rewatch. Star Wars, Star Trek. Growing up, people are like, you like Star Wars or Star Trek? I'm like, why can't I like both of them? Is there something wrong with that? Trying stupid. I don't like Star Trek. Well, if you want to cut your foot off or your nose off to spite your face, that's your problem. Okay, we're going to go to the reading. September 23rd, we're doing a date at a time today. Today's daily reflection was in the third edition. I tried to look up third edition. I tried to look up the reading in third edition, but I couldn't find it. So it be gone. I could not find it. So we switched, but we'll be able to kind of probably use the big book in this situation. We might. I kind of have how it works memorized, at least to the ABCs. So I may not need to refer to the book, but I may do it anyway, just to keep the flow. Because it doesn't always pop up. September 23rd, reflection for the day on studying the 12 steps. Many of the first members of the program exclaimed, "What an order! I can't go through with it." Do not be discouraged. We're told at meeting after meeting after meeting. Good morning, Claire. It's good to see you also. Good morning, Amber. Good to see you. All right. Margie is commenting on the Star Trek, Star Wars, because they want you to pick a team. Screw what people think. Yeah, you ain't gonna be able to divide me. I don't do division. Never have. I've never really been big into this side, that side. Just as long as the Broncos win, and that ain't happening, support me. But if that's my problem, I will take it. Clara says, I'm a fruitcake, just accepting that. You're funny. Right? So, what an order. We can't go through it. It does. It's a tall order. There's a lot of work to be done. There's all this stuff right here on the right side, and there's nothing on the left, and it's bothering me. I think I'm going to fill up the space. I can't do that. All right. I'm just going to have to let it bother me. It's like, things got to be equal for some reason. I need to put something right here. Maybe I could get another Spider-Man and hang him from the ceiling, and he can be upside down right here. All right. Anyway, doesn't matter. There's a lot of work to be done. I spent 20 years of my life trying to destroy it with alcohol, going the opposite direction. That's why we do 180s, right? You do a 180. So here's the key. Work on the step. The only worry about the step that you're on. And 12. And 12. Actually, you can do any step that has a 1 in it right away. Yes, you can. All right. Not going to go into that part. But yeah, I mean, look behind me. Look at all this. These are our steps and our traditions. Over here's our steps. Over here's our traditions. Not to mention, then we bring up sponsorship and, you know, and get this and 90 meetings in 90 days and finding a higher power. Man, in the beginning, it's a lot. It's overwhelming. Yeah. That's why we kept it simple. It's one reason why we keep it simple, because easy isn't going to be a part of the process. All right. It might get easier, but it's never going to really be necessarily easy. It might be depending on your attitude, right? Margie says, I like the Yankees, the Mets, and the Rockies all together. I can't pick a team. Yeah. Well, at least between the three, you might pick a winning one. The Rockies' record this year, they did not break the record of the worst season ever. That was their shtick. Claire says, rarely means not often. Yes, it does. Rarely means no. So rarely have we seen a person fail who's thoroughly followed our path. That is the part in chapter 5 that she is talking about. And it's absolutely true. Yeah. Now, your sponsor may take you through this in a week. Your sponsor may take you through this in a month. It might be 6 months. It varies for everybody and depends on the kind of sponsor. But for every single person, the key is keeping it simple and focusing on the step that you are currently on. Why? Because you're newly sober and we want you to enjoy your life a little bit. We don't want to overwhelm you with AA either. So we're going to start simple, start small, start with the small stuff. Go to a meeting each day for a week. Try that. You can break these down. You can break that 90-90 down a little bit. Okay, I'm going to go for a week. Okay, I did that week. Woohoo, good job. Now I'm going to do 2 weeks. I'm going to double that. I was able to do a week, so now I can do 2 weeks. All right, I'm going to try that. And we challenge ourselves, and those are the challenges contained in the principles that keep us striving for as long as we live. All right, that's what it is in the beginning. All right. Okay. No one among us has been able to maintain things like perfect adherence to these principles. We are not saints. No, we know we're not saints. We already know that. I haven't met anybody that's done these principles perfectly. Nah. And I've met thousands of, so it doesn't change. But, yeah, it's true. I haven't met a saint yet. It's all right. You're going to find out. You don't need to be specially distinguished among your fellows. You're going to find that out. You're going to see other people doing it. And you're going to be like, how come they're doing it, but I can't? Well, because you have a new set of morals. You decide to live a different life. I'm going to tell you something, especially you newcomers. You ain't missing out on anything. You are not missing out on a darn thing. Okay? You might think you are. You might feel like you are. But trust me, you ain't missing out on anything. Okay? So do not be discouraged. No one among us has been able to maintain things like perfect at anything like it. Not, what does that mean? Nothing close. And why do I laugh? Because it's kind of funny to think for 1 second that I thought that I was above everyone else. I didn't even when I was drinking, I didn't really think that way. That's why I lived in low-end neighborhoods, so I could act like I was something. Right? Claire says you can't be a saint unless you're dead. Yeah, I that might be a requirement. Actually, I don't know. I don't know what qualifies sainthood, so I'm going to go with that. I believe you. I have no reason not to believe you. Right? We are not saints. The point is that we are willing to grow along spiritual lines. What a powerful line! What a powerful line. We are willing to grow along spiritual lines. Means we're just going to get better each day. Some of those might be big jumps, but most of them are going to be small. You know, but you got to try. You got to put effort into it. Man, my lazy eye is really doing something today. I look all cuckoo. Cuckoo, cuckoo. Yeah, it is all the way over there. It's because I'm looking to the right at my own eye. If I go like that, I can't. It looks like I'm looking right at you, but I'm not. I'm actually looking to the left. All right. All right. So we're not saints point. We'll go along spiritual lines. The principles we have set down are guides to progress. Guides to progress. We claim spiritual progress rather than spiritual perfection. I just happen to know that's the next line because it's one line that I kind of, it's a sticking point for me. Okay. Now watch this. We claim spiritual progress. You finished it in your head. You hear it all the time. You finished it. You kind of finished it. And I really wish they wouldn't have put the other half in there because we missed the direction in here. Are you claiming spiritual progress today? Are you claiming it? Got to do it rather than spiritual perfection. All right. Can I believe in the words of Browning that my business is not to remake myself, but to make the absolute best of what God made? All right. So my job isn't to make it is to have the best possible attitude toward whatever it is that's going on today, good, bad, or indifferent. Having the best attitude that I can. This morning when I was talking to God, I didn't have a bad day yesterday, but it was a little disruptive for me with some things that were going on. And this morning I told God, I'm like, yeah, number one, thank you for setting me straight yesterday, but today I just don't think we need to go through any of that. We don't really need to go through any of that. If you'd help me focus on what you want to be done. And that's what happened kind of yesterday too, but my morning was a little disrupted with it's not really outside problems, but they are problems I am no longer willing to involve myself in, if that makes sense. I'm not doing that stuff anymore. Now, I don't care what you're doing in the recovery community. Just stay away from me. I don't. Oh, hey, there's some things that I noticed this weekend. I noticed things. I noticed very small things, actions, non-action, especially non-action. When I went to the recovery rally, and I can't wait to have therapy today so I can brag to my therapist that I went to the recovery rally because I know what she's going to say. She's like, "Oh, so you decided to pick the thing that triggers you the most. You went for it was that stuff and my family. But this one's harder. My family I talk to at least. These people won't even look me in the eye. Right? So we challenge ourselves. And we do that with God. Right? Now, how did I bring God with me this time? My wife and two of my grandchildren. And they kept me because my grandkids were there. It kept me a little bit, it helped me stay in line. Right? Because I'm known for stirring the pot. And I didn't do it. I did not need to do it. I don't need to do that anymore. People know where I stand. I don't need to. I don't even care if there's people coming in that don't know where I say. It doesn't matter anymore. That part's done. And it's kind of freeing. I did everything that I was supposed to do. Now I need to step away. Why am I doing that? Because I deserve better. Because I deserve better. Yeah, I ran into a friend down there and I've been handing them stuff after stuff after stuff, right? But one thing that I noticed, he didn't introduce me to any of his fellow coworkers. Oh, this is the Dion I've been talking about. Okay. See? Hey, I notice these things. I really do. It may have just been this, and it probably was. He just wanted me to himself because he was going crazy and needed to talk. Oh, he was going through his own shit. See? There we are. See how we can work through this shit? He had to stay there. I didn't. He was trapped. No wonder he was like that. There we go. Hey, doesn't take. See, I noticed it, but I could turn it into, you know what? If I was in that position and I put myself in his shoes, guess what? Huh? I might have acted the same way and just not noticed. Oh, thank God my friend Dion's here. At least I have somebody to talk to that understands. See? That might have been the only reason I went down. Not true. Not true. I got a lot of resources. I mean, a lot. We're not even halfway through. And I talked to all of these people. If I walked up and stood there for 30 seconds and you said nothing to me, I walked away. Actually, I've done stuff with Love Prevails already. I'm looking forward to this one. There's a couple that I'm really looking forward to because they will be helping out children. I mean, I got a sober apartment thing, things like that, you know, because I'm working on resources and it's got to be everything. Withdrawal management, detox only. There are 4.0 detox in Greeley. See, all sorts of stuff, right? And that's now, if I would have went down there and I was focused on more on stirring the pot, I wouldn't have gotten more contacts. I wouldn't have gotten more resources. And we need more good resources. And there were a lot more than I imagined. So yesterday, was it yesterday, day before? It doesn't matter. One of the people that I do not like had put up, hey, we did, it was a good, here's a picture of all the vendors and stuff. And I wrote on there, hey, I found some really good contacts there. Thank you for that. And I was able to write that and mean it and be a part of and put my own shit apart for a second so that I could be a part of the whole, but not have to be recognized for what I do. Okay? It's all right. Claire says, I think it's beautiful that you have the foundation that you do. Oh, thank you, Clara. You're a wonderful role model to those building theirs. Oh, thanks, sweetie. I appreciate that. We're only at 23 minutes. Wow. Okay. Probably not going to be too much longer. We'll see. But anyway, back to this. Can I believe in the words of Browning that my business is not to remake myself? Okay. So I don't need to go back and totally remake myself. Everything that I need, I already have. And God's going to let me utilize that. Right. So when it comes to my character defects, I became aware of them. But that doesn't mean that they are removed. You think I'm never going to be angry or depressed or sad again? That I'm never going to be excited again? These things are going to happen. And it is different than the obsession of alcohol. That was taken from me. I do not obsess over alcohol. I might think about it every now and again, but I don't even recoil from it like a hot flame. It's, oh, that sounds good. And then it's replaced by something else because my mind, just like everything else, it just moves on. It's a fleeting thought at best anymore. At best. Hey, that looks good. Hey, what's for dinner? Seriously. That's what it's like for me. I hardly even think of alcohol. Actually, the only time I think of alcohol is well, let's see, I do it all day. So never mind. So I guess I do think of alcohol all the time. Actually, I think about recovery from alcoholism mostly. That's what I'm usually thinking about. All right. Today I pray. Even if I am an old hand at the program, yeah. Okay. Am I an old hand? According to what they're reading, I would be an old hand at the program. There are no lesser than or greater than signs in recovery in AA. I'm not any bigger, better, different. I might have a little more knowledge, practice a little bit more, but that's the extent of it. Every single one of us is an arm length away from the next drink. Every single one of us. Okay. May I not forget the 12 steps do not represent an achievement that could be checked off my things to do list. Instead, they are striving for an ideal, a guide to getting there. May I keep my mind open to deepening interpretations of these principles. Today, I'll remember progress rather than perfection. I really think we need to get rid of that, but I'm going to go with what they're saying. Right? And it's because, and I get it, because a lot of alcoholics have perfection in their minds when they get here. Oh, I'm going to do this program so good. You have no idea. Yeah, I've heard that so many times. I'm going to do this program perfect. Yeah, no, you're not. And you don't need to. See, that's the thing. We don't have to worry about that perfection. We were striving for perfection because that's what we thought we needed. But now that we understand that we don't need it, you're probably not going to strive for that. But I certainly do use perfection as something to strive for. Am I going to get there? No. But it gives me something to move towards, right? And we'll see where I end up. Who knows? Who knows? But I got to have something that keeps me striving. Yeah. All right. God, what is going on with my eye? I'm getting old. I'm getting old. All right. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. You know I do. Peace out. And